Right, welcome everybody. You're going to be treated today to the Christmas special. So I'm going to give you some key tips to kind of manage your business and your expectation before the holidays, during the holidays, and then after, well into the new year. So if you like the sound of that, stick around. Don't forget to subscribe, comment below, hit the like bell, all that kind of stuff. It will share this video out to your fellow entrepreneurs in the world who are probably going to struggle a little bit with this. We all have this little kind of, I can't have any time off type stuff or whatever. So stick around for my key tips in how to manage this kind of holiday season. And as my orange hat, orange glasses and ginger beard all merge into one, hopefully you'll be able to see me against these pink lights in the background. Amortization, bit of a difficult one to say that. So my first tip is actually about the time before you go into Christmas. So a lot of people will go into panic mode, and it will kind of really depend on the industry. So some businesses will kind of peter off and close down. Some businesses will be like absolutely bonkers, going like gangbusters right up until kind of 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve. So depending on what business you are will really depend on how you're going to react during that time. So if you're the business that kind of winds down and closes down, that is the perfect opportunity for you to start looking at things in advance so that they don't interrupt your kind of mid bit in the holidays, you know, that kind of holiday I don't know, the lull in the middle where the Boxing Day comes and you're waiting for New Year's but Christmas is gone, all that kind of stuff. So take that time, if you're that kind of business that kind of pitters off as you go off to Christmas, you know, you kind of builders or maybe merchants or something like that where trade slows down a bit because people are thinking about the holiday seasons, buying presents, seeing family. Basically, take that time to plan what you're going to do in the new year or make your next steps. However, if you're the type of business that's absolutely bonkers just before Christmas and you're kind of like, you've got customers coming in the door at 5 o'clock, they're all fighting, it's Black Friday and they're smashing tellies over each other's heads, who knows, whatever kind of genre or industry that you're in, you're one of those businesses that has to stay open pretty much right up until the last bell and its panic stages. Well, I think you should concentrate totally and utterly on your business during that time. Obviously, you're going to have this period afterwards. You may or may not be open, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But you're going to have these few days off shortly after just to relax and unwind from that kind of bedlam of time. But make sure you've got enough staff, make sure you've got the stock and the supplies so that you don't get this kind of rush out and you think, oh, this is our peak season and we're going to make most of our money right now, but I haven't planned in advance. You know, get that stock in. Don't have sales and discounts on. You can do promotions or something like that, but try not to avoid discounting. I mean, the Black Friday stuff is like crazy. They're saying that basically nowadays, like the offers that you get on Black Friday, literally you can just go and buy the same television or whatever it is you want to buy, a washing machine or something, all year long for that price, because they just go up and down. They put the prices up, then they put them back down again. So that's a crazy way of doing business. Just do some, you know, some kind of offers, you know, kind of maybe buy this and you get a month free if it's a subscription service or something like that. Don't discount your stuff. So yeah, make sure that you've got all your stock, all your ducks in a row and everything that you need in order to see you through that December kind of rushy period right up until Christmas Eve, so that you can actually put your feet up, enjoy your Christmas presents, maybe have a few too many mince pies. So those are my tips for kind of businesses that wind down and businesses that are really hectic during this festive period and the run up to Christmas. So we'll move on to kind of stage 2, I suppose, or point 2, which is the bit in the middle. So your different types of businesses, the ones that are super busy, maybe still stay open during that period, and the businesses that are completely closed or have got no trading at all. So if you're in the latter, so you're in the business that basically closes down over Christmas or whatever, choose this time to be like, literally, I'm going to plan for next year, I'm going to look at my costings, we've just had all the budget and the rest of it, and if you want to see my take on the budget or my colleagues who joined me for the Super Podcast, please click on the description up the top here. It'll be one of these sides or possibly down below, who knows, wherever James decides to put it. But you click on that and that will take you through to the podcast and you'll get some really good impartial advice there. But it's your time to plan and think to yourself, what am I going to do in 2025 that is going to actually mean that I've kind of materialised my vision, I've written it down, I've got my list to do, not your naughty list or your present list. This is your list for next year for business things that you're going to focus on. And basically that is your time to do that. I know you're going to have family over and people want to have a bit of time to chill out and the rest of it, but there's plenty of downtime in that period for you to actually work on what is your plan for 2025. Make sure it's actionable and achievable. And as I always say, people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. So make sure that whatever you put in for your 1 year is achievable and you can actually apply a KPI to it. Did you achieve that? Because what we're going to do is next year, we're going to look back and make sure you actually achieved all of those things. So the other type of business, you're still open during Christmas. I don't know, maybe your hospitality business or entertainment business or something like that. Let's take an ice rink, for instance. They're going to be open during the Christmas period because that is their main market. Well, just accept that. That is your life. That's your business that you decided to go into, and it is your massive peak season right now. So there is no point in fighting that because that is the season for you to make all your money. Now, yes, you can still make time for your family, friends or whatever in between all these things, but you've got to work. Your business requires you to be open in order for you to not have these massive peaks and troughs all over the year, because you're going to make most of your money probably in this season if you're a seasonal business. So focus in on just getting over that trading period, getting past that, and then I'll tell you what, it will probably, for most of those types of business, fall off a cliff in January. So that is the time when you're going to sit down and you're going to write your business plan for the next 12 months. In January, when everybody else is back to work and it's all chaos because you've been closed for a while and haven't been able to get hold of all your products and everybody's chasing everything and super keen, that type of business is open over Christmas and busy up to Christmas Eve. It's generally the sort of business that is pretty dead, or at least has a bit of a cliff edge fall off come January time. So think of your restaurants, think of your kind of hospitality places, indoor play centres, those kind of places. They then generally don't do so well in the new year, but they'll do very well on the run up. So yeah, if you're in that kind of industry, make sure that you just embrace it, and then in the new year, get to work on your plan when everybody else is running around like headless chickens. My third tip, or third stage in the Christmas drama, if you like. So you've got your stage 1, pre-Christmas, stage 2, in the middle, that lull period that no one knows what to do with, where you can't get rid of Uncle Dave. He's just come and then he's staying on the sofa and you can't get him off. Now we've gone past New Year's, you've had your celebration, everybody's done the old dance in the lounge and had a bit of champagne at midnight and then just gone straight to bed because no one stays up that late anymore. And now we're on the 2nd of January, we're all back at work. Well, this is your time to plan if you've got that business that is very seasonal. So use this lull, look at what you've traded over December and in that period and see how you can do things better for next year. Feed that into your plan. See if you can actually come up with a way of not having the big peaks and troughs. So look at your business model. What is it that people want to do in January and how can we factor that into our business? So if you're an ice rink, for instance, maybe you could do some theme stuff in the kind of January thing. Figure out where kids are still not quite back at school or whatever, or focus in on those weekends. Maybe do some offers, like, if the kids go free or something like that, if the adults pay, who knows, those sort of things. That's what you need to be thinking about, how that you can make sure you don't have this like massive build up, Christmas comes and then down, January hits like a kind of ton of bricks on you. So see what you can do, use that time to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future and go from there. If you're the type of business that's been closed, so I don't know, your builders, merchants, solicitors, accountants, all those kind of service industry, if you like, freelancers, those sort of people, when you get around to January, the best thing that you can do is really try and preempt what your workload is going to be for the first few months so that you don't get too distracted from that list that you've compiled during the Christmas break. So you've got your kind of list for this year, let's get going. Oh, it's January, and all of a sudden, a bit like joining the gym, you've forgotten all about it, and the habits have gone out the window, and your list has gone out the window as well. Well, just accept in January, for the first couple of weeks, it's going to be probably super busy, where people are trying to get hold of you. They've had this time off, and now it's the new year, let's get going, and all that sort of stuff. Well, just accept that, embrace that for the first couple of weeks. People will lose steam, and then you can focus back on your list that you've got for your year, but make sure you don't lose the steam on that. So that's my key tip after Christmas. As a little bonus, generally speaking, you need to make time for your loved ones and your family members throughout that season. I know it's really difficult, especially as entrepreneurs. They generally don't believe in days off and all that kind of stuff, and they work 24 hours a day. Well, make sure you manage your stuff. Make sure you go and see the pantomime with the kids, or go and take Auntie Susan out carol singing, or whatever it is your traditions are. Make sure you make time for that. You can always work in the evenings or get up earlier in the morning. There's going to be some downtime, so you can catch up. Trust me, most people will be doing the same thing, so they probably won't expect as much of you during the festive period. I know it feels like people expect the world from you, and you've got everything, and you're pulled in many different directions, but generally speaking, you'll find a general consensus is that people will slow down at Christmas. So ride that wave, slow down a little bit if you can, make sure you make that time for family and so on. So those are my kind of key tips before Christmas, during the kind of 7 days of Christmas, or whatever it is. Not 7 days, is it? 14 days, 12 days? I don't know. How many days is it? 12, isn't it? Let me do that again. It's 7 days between Christmas and New Year's, isn't it? So yeah, so that bit before Christmas where you could be super busy or winding down, then you've got your kind of 12 days of Christmas section in the middle, and then you've got the new year where you're going to really hit the ground running. You're going to focus on what happened during that period and what you're going to do in 2025. So there's your kind of 3 zones of Christmas, if you like. So those are my tips. I hope they've been really, really useful to you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. Go back and have a look through our back catalogue of videos that we've done this year. We've had some really, really good fun. We've had some super podcast guests on. We've had some good ones lately that are going to come out in series 2. We've moved the podcast studio around, so have a look at some of the old videos and the new ones, compare them if you want. And look at some of our tips. Remember, we're going to probably get into economic hard times next year. I think, with the new budget and the rest of it, we're all going to have to really focus in on the way we operate, whether you're employed or you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, whatever you are, you're going to have to really focus in on that stuff. So have a look at videos like my key tips for saving money and being economical with a business, and also 5 side hustles as well for ideas of people if they want to earn extra income. And also just generally, most of the videos are all themed about how to grow your business. So they're really, really useful to people, and I hope in 2025 you can go back and have a look at the back catalogue. You've got that bit of time off of Christmas, so why not? So yeah, go take your dog around the field if you want, and go and for a nice walk and get away from the wife and the kids or whatever you're going to do to go and have some peace. You can listen to all of the stuff on a podcast. All of the podcasts, they're available on Apple Podcast, and they're also available on Spotify and other streaming services. So go and check them out there if you want to just listen to it. I mean, you can actually listen to it for YouTube, so if you want to listen to some of the hints and tips through there, you can do that as well. And really just have a good kind of rewind over the year, really, and maybe hopefully there's some useful tips for you in there for you to send you on your entrepreneurial way into 2025. So with that said, as I say, don't forget to subscribe. That really does help get the channel bigger and get it out to a wider audience. And from me to you, I'd just like to wish you a super Merry Christmas, and I hope your entrepreneurial dreams come true in 2025.